I have a fabulous class sitting in front of me. Hi, Becca.
Can you say hi, Mom?
Hi, Mommy.
You know it's going to be Rebecca's mom, but it's a big surprise.
Becca knows, and some of the kids in the class don't know, but I'll tell you guys, I get to read books to kids all over the country. And I thought it would be really cool if I got to read a book to you guys today. What do you think? Yeah. Becca, I bet you weren't expecting this today, hey?
No.
Oh, I so wanted to tell you, but I also wanted to keep it a surprise, so I didn't say a word. Well, you guys, I'm going to be reading you one of my favorite stories, and it's one of Becca's favorite stories, and it's one of Becca's sister's favorite stories. The story I'm going to be reading to you today is The Gingerbread Man. And it's by one of our favorite authors, Jim Aylesworth. And you know what? Becca got to meet Jim Aylesworth. And she got to talk with Jim Aylesworth. And what else, Becca? What can you tell them about Jim Aylesworth?
He wrote a lot of books.
He wrote a lot of books. That's right. When we saw him, he had a stack of books. I can't even get my hand up so you guys can see, but he had a huge stack. Becca, show him with your hands the big stack of books he had. Yeah, just like that. That many books that he had written. Over 30 books. And he's a first grade teacher. Just like your teacher is. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do something where I'm going to share my screen. You're still going to hear my voice, and I'm going to read to you The Gingerbread Man. So here I go. Can you see the book, everyone?
Yeah.
Excellent. This is The Gingerbread Man, retold by Jim Aylesworth. And here we go. Once upon a time, there was a little old man and a little old woman. And one day, the little old man said, "We should make a gingerbread man." "Yes, let's do," said the little old man, and they did. So they mixed up the batter, and they rolled out the dough, and they shaped the little arms, and they shaped the little legs, and they shaped the little head. And with raisins, they made the little eyes, and the little nose, and the little mouth. And then with sugar glaze, they dressed him in a fancy suit of clothes. Doesn't that look cool?
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you like making gingerbread men. Oh, lots of hands. Lots of people like to make them. Raise your hand. Keep your hand raised if you like to eat them. I like to make them, and I like to eat them, too. When all was set, they put the gingerbread man into the oven, and they waited. Pretty soon, I have a little problem here because my thing is showing on here. Let me see if I can move this. Uh-oh. That wasn't good. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go to a different sharing. There. Can you still see it?
Yes.
Perfect. When all was set, they put the gingerbread man into the oven, and they waited. Pretty soon, a delicious smell coming from the oven told them that the gingerbread man was ready, and so were they. Uh-oh, something happens. What do you think happened, you guys? Wow, you guys said that all at the same time. Becca, you are in a classroom of geniuses. I love it. But when they opened the oven door, out popped the gingerbread man, and he ran across the floor. The little old man and the little old woman could hardly believe their eyes. The gingerbread man looked up at them, put his little hands on his hips, and said, "Run, run, fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." That's right. You guys, you know what? You did that so well, I'm going to let you say that from now on. The little old man reached down to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran out the door and down the road, and the little old man and the little old woman ran after him. "Come back! Come back!" they yelled. But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said, now, Becca, you know this. Will you read this part with me?
No.
No, no, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snag. And he kept on running. That's a special part that Jim Ellsworth told us that he wrote for this book, huh, Becca? That's his special song. He wants that to catch on with kids all over the world. And he ran, and he ran, and he ran. And after a time, he met a butcher standing in front of his shop. The gingerbread man looked up at him, put his little hands on his hips, and said, "You guys, I've run from a husband, I've run from a wife, and I'll run from you too. I can. Look at that. Oh, he's a sassy little gingerbread man. The butcher reached down to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran on down the road, and the butcher ran after him. "Come back!" yelled the butcher. And not far behind, the little old man and the little old woman were yelling too. "Come back! Come back!" But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said, "No, no, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack." And he kept on running. And he ran, and he ran, and he ran. And after a time, he met a black and white cow. The gingerbread man looked up at her, put his little hands on his hips, and said, "Run!
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I ran from a husband. I ran from a wife.
I run from a butcher with a carving knife, and I'll run from you too. I can. The black and white cow reached out to grab him, but quick as a wink, the gingerbread man ran on down the road, and the black and white cow ran after him. "Come back!" yelled the black and white cow. And not far behind, the little old man and the little old woman and the butcher with the knife were yelling too. "Come back! Come back! Come back!" But the gingerbread man just looked over his shoulder and said,
No, I won't come back. I'd rather run than be your snack.
and he kept on running. And he ran, and he ran, and he ran. And after a time, he met a muddy old sow. A sow is another word for a pig. That's right. Good job. You guys really are a bunch of geniuses. I'm so glad Becca's in your class. The gingerbread man looked up at her, put his little hands on his hips, and said,
Run!